Gear Patrol calls their new dive watch the best sub-$500 dive watch. Full stop. Men's Health rated them as the most stylish solar watch in the game. Who are we talking about? It's Movement. They're leveling up your gift giving with the sleekest watches you can buy and the biggest deals of the season. Shop 30 to 50% off Movement's innovative California clean watches, jewelry, and accessories with fast free shipping and returns now at mvmt.com. That's mvmt.com.
Well, hey guys, welcome back to the Potted Together podcast. I'm Nicole, and I'm joined by my wonderful, in every way co-hosts, Adam and Becca.
Hello.
Hello. How are you guys doing?
Peachy.
Yeah, peachy as well.
Peachy.
Speaking of peaches, Becca, did you have any peaches on that tree that we found randomly in your yard?
There were no peaches this year. And I think like fruit trees, if they're not like happy, they will fruit every other year. I've been reading about that. And so last year, the apple tree did not bloom, but the peach tree bloomed last year. Or sorry, produced fruit, whatever. And this year, the apple tree did and the peach tree didn't. So, yeah. But all of the apples were eaten by deer, I'm assuming. There's no more apples left on that tree.
Oh no.
Our neighbors have 2 apple trees in the yard, and they hang over on our property, and I'm like, yeah, apples. But we cannot get to any of them because the squirrels take them. And they're all over the yard, half eaten. Yeah.
Are they like good apples, or are they tiny?
They're like those tiny little crab apples, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that you can make pies with them at that point, but I didn't, obviously. I mean, by the time I even thought about it, I went out and they were gone. So, great.
Houdini apples.
I know.
All right. Well, today we are going to be talking about incorporating our houseplants in the workspace. And we all have 3 very different workspace scenarios, but we also all work from home. So I think it'll be fun to hear like each of our stories and how we did that or do that. But before that, we need to catch up in mustard. So who wants to go first? How's your week going? What happened this week? Anything special? Anything crazy? Any tea? Because I'm here for it.
Any tea? Gosh, I'm trying to think. It has been very rainy. Let's start with a weather update. It's been so rainy and so nice. And that has reminded me that I'm inclined to call myself lazy if I like don't want to go outside and work on like the garden or the greenhouse or something. But like I need to be nicer to myself. So that's something I've realized this week is that it's been like blistering hot. Who in their right mind would go out and work all day in that weather?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's unsafe. So it's like this week when it's been in the 80s and like cloudy and raining on and off, I've been outside almost all day, every single day this week. So I don't know if there's anyone out there who has a tendency to like be rough on yourself. Don't do that. Just, it's okay. The weather, it's really contingent on the weather here. So yeah, I built my compost system. I planted a lot more seeds in the garden. Hopefully I will have like a late season crop, like some fall crops. Basically, I'm just imagining this as like a fall planting is what I'm doing right now. And then I'm going to redo my broccoli and lettuce and stuff in a covered bed because those things don't have to be pollinated. I don't think. I hope. I mean, broccoli I'm a little weirded out about because I see people grow it in like covered tents. But I'm like, doesn't it flower? Like, I don't know. Whatever. I'm just going to do what I see other people do, which is what I always do with gardening. So I'm going to set up like a covered row and grow that kind of stuff this winter and carrots and stuff like that so that it stays nice and warm and protected. And I think that I can probably grow like lettuce and stuff into probably December. So we'll see. we will see. I'm going to be a little bit more proactive on my winter and fall gardening this year.
Yeah, we were talking about this a little bit before we started recording, but you had read that it was kind of not a great Midwestern gardening season. Yeah. And we have a few tomato bushes in our little tiny garden, and they're not doing that great either. So I was thinking of doing some fall stuff, but our garden bed is so small. I feel like next year we either need to expand it or we need to do like some planter gardening. I don't know. But tomatoes just take over. Do you have tomatoes in your garden?
Yeah, I have, 5, I think. Yeah, they're bushy.
They're so bushy. And you have to kind of continually prune them to an extent, or the plant will just put so much energy into the dead foliage, and like foliage is not really giving you any fruit. So it's kind of a pain in the butt. I'm not a big gardener, so bless your heart for trying these past couple years, because it's really not my jam, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Well, what I've realized is if you like gardening, you should hope that you also like cooking, because now it hurts even more if you waste the produce.
Yes.
Which I had this issue last year too. I was like, oh shoot, like I actually have to cook this food. Like I need to like come up with things. And so I finally was able to pick some food yesterday off of my pepper plants. I did not grow peppers last year, and I think it's one of my new favorite things to grow. Like it feels very similar to tomatoes, except that the plant stays like relatively small, and like the fruit is big. So it's just like easy to like get in there and navigate around. So next year, I think I'm going to do like a salsa garden bed.
Oh.
And like grow some really cool like tomatoes and peppers and spices all in that one bed. And that's just like my salsa bed, because I've been really, really loving the idea of making my own salsa like in a blender. You know how like you can make like a pico de gallo pretty easily just by chopping up some stuff. But I kind of want to like make like a blender salsa.
You should get a molcajete.
Yes, I really want to get one of those.
Steve and I did a salsa and salsa class on one of our last cruise that we went, where they taught you how to make a bunch of salsas, like dessert salsa and all this stuff. And then they also taught you how to salsa dance, but we didn't do that part because, well, Steve did. I was filming. I don't have moves. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But yeah, the molcajete, that's like really fun to do. And it really like, I don't know. It was cool to learn.
It like brings out the flavors. Like it's kind of like using... what is it? What is that pan? It's like the one that the flavor is like infused in it. Yeah, cast iron. I feel like it has like a similar vibe to that, maybe. Like the flavors are like in... Anyway, I don't know. So that's kind of the garden update. As far as the greenhouse goes, no update.
It's coming along.
It's slowly coming along, whatever. If it's not done by autumn, then I'll start getting upset. But I still, like, I think we definitely have, like, time. But, like, I really want to also be able to grow food in there this winter. And I really think I could. But I need to figure out the heater, which will be, like, the number one thing for the winter time, and getting the airflow with the heater. So I need to get that. I need to get it, like, the siding up so that I can start that process, because that's, like, a whole other thing. And we might actually just like bite the bullet and put electricity out there. But I was talking to Jeff from Vintage Hill about this, and he's like, well, do you or your husband like know how to do wiring? And I'm like, well, yeah, like Daniel's like super handy. He's done it before. And he's like, well, just do that. Like, whatever, you know, like, who cares? Like, you could, I mean, okay, nobody message me about this, please. Because
don't come for us in the comments.
I already know there's going to be messages, or maybe not, of people being like, never do electrical work yourself. My husband has experience doing it, though. So it's not like I'm like DIYing this for the first time ever. Like, he really knows how to do it. But it's just like, I am going to get another quote or two from some electricians in the area. But that one quote, $4,000.
It's astronomical.
Yeah.
So I'm going to see if I can get some more. But he told me that he got wiring done for like a much further distance, and it was like less than half of what I was or whatever. Anyway,
because that's what it is. It's because of the distance they have to go from your house, right?
And
the power line.
And like the piping is really expensive. Like I think it's like copper pipes. It's like really expensive right now. But Jeff told me, he's like, no, they were just trying to like screw you over or like give you like a go away price because he got like a way better deal. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to see if I can find a better deal. But I think I am going to have electricity out there. Like, I just don't see any other way because this summer it was so hot. And like, how is that going to happen? You know, like, I don't know. So I really didn't want to do that, but De La Plants is going to have to make up for the like energy difference. You know what I mean? Like the greenhouse will be added on like as a workspace, like for taxes and stuff like that. So it's just like, it'll get figured out. So anyway, trying to think of anything else. I don't really think I have anything else like to update on. Life has been like pretty normal. That I'm sure maybe other things will come up later, but I can't think of anything else besides those two updates.
Wait, I have
shortest
a question,
update for me ever.
Well, not yet though. Don't hold your breath. Before we move on to Adam's week, I want to know, did you book a cruise yet?
No.
Steve
Not
keeps
yet.
asking me. Steve's like, did Becca book a cruise? He's like really is invested in this.
Okay, it's just like, okay, the thing about it that is hard for Daniel and I is just like getting a grasp on the amount of money that you pay up front. Like, but that's basically your whole trip. Like, that is basically like you're paying for, I'm assuming this is how it goes. Adam, you can weigh in, or you should weigh in because you would know. But like with these cruises, it's like around 2,000-ish for both of us in like basic rooms. We're either like a window or like a small balcony. Because I don't want to do windowless. I think that would not be good for me, but at least a window.
Yeah.
And so those are like relatively cheap. So it's like around $2,000. Like I made a spreadsheet.
Total for two people, right?
Yeah. Okay. And I made a spreadsheet. Where is this?
Of course you did.
We love that.
We love the De La spreadsheets.
The De La spreadsheets. I love a spreadsheet. But I don't remember where I put it. Oh, dear. Where did I put it? Okay, well.
Also on brand.
Yeah. This is
I
like
did all
the
of this
most
amazing work and now I lost it.
I think it's in my docs. Okay, I'm going to try to find it as I'm talking to you. But I added up the cruise fees plus like our airfare. And it was like average 2,000, ish.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Okay. Yeah. Oh, no. Okay, but it's Carnival. It's Carnival. So
I mean, it's fun for a party, to be honest. I kind of really enjoyed our Carnival cruise.
See, Dan and I would love to have like a mixture of like, well, no. I would say in general, we are like high energy travelers, but like we love to go to the spa too and like get massages. And like a Carnival cruise is going to have a spa. So like, and like a pool, like an adults only section. So it's like $1,500 for one Carnival, $2,000 for another Carnival. And then we found a Virgin cruise that's 5 days only, but that's $2,600.
Virgin looks so cool, though. Steve and I really want to do one.
I know. It looks so nice.
And those are adults only.
Yeah. See, that's
Fully.
the appeal.
There are no kids allowed there.
That's the appeal, you know? And like with that one, like it's a 5-day cruise, but we could have like an extra couple days in Miami, which I would love because I love Miami a lot. So, but like Costa Maya, Bimini Beach Club, those are the only two places you'd go on the 5-day cruise.
Okay.
Bimini and the Carnival
is, Virgin's private island kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like a full cruise experience. Like you're not gonna stop and like experience culture. Like you're cruising, which is fine because that's what the type of trip is. But the other two is Key West, Freeport, Nassau, and then Ochos Rios, Grand Cayman, and Cozumel.
Oh, that's a good.
Yeah, so like both of those would be
Is it a
fun.
10-day?
7.
7. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, we're considering it, but we're both like, and also that was research as of like a week ago. So it's probably outdated. Like, I don't know if those rooms are still available. And those are all happening like really soon too. So like those are in September and August, which we wanted. But anyway, point is, we are trying, but we can't get past like the initial sticker shock, because when you do traveling like in other ways, like you have the initial sticker shock of your flights, but then you can wait a little while before you book your hotels and stuff like that. So like you're spending more money when you travel in other ways probably, but it just doesn't feel like it because it's more spread out.
Yeah, that makes sense. But the cruise cost, like that $1,500, $2,000, that's including. Is that like with a drink and a food package? Like that's all inclusive, right?
I didn't see that, but how does that work, Adam?
Yeah, it does kind of get a little strange, and I would be happy to pass along the person I work through as a travel agent. She's really great, and they sometimes get better deals. Either $200 onboard credit that you can use towards buying a drinks package, but drinks packages are they're usually like a certain amount a day, like $30 a day per person, and you can't just get one. So like if you're rooming in a room with someone, everyone in that room has to get the drink package. Because they don't want
because otherwise one person will just buy it. Yeah.
Unless they're under 21, obviously they can't get a drink package. So it just depends. You don't have to get a drinks package. You can pay for the drinks yourself, like each time if you don't feel like you're going to drink a lot. But sometimes it's just nice to have it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm not like a big drinker, but on vacation, like having a pina colada, and also it's just like the drink that is fun. Like not even necessarily the alcohol. Like I could get it virgin. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But getting like a fancy drink is fun.
Yeah. I agree. If you guys have the ability, I mean, there's usually a lot of last minute deals, which would mean like you don't have a lot of heads up to get airfare or take time off work. I know for you, that's probably not that big of a deal. Daniel, it might be, but yeah. I mean, have you ever stayed at an all-inclusive resort like as an adult and paid for that?
No.
Okay, because it's very similar.
It's pretty amazing.
And it's just like it is a sticker shock, but like you're on a ship that has like different restaurants you can try. Yeah. And they're all included, and different like fast service things. But I get it. I really do understand. It does feel like it's a lot.
Yeah. It feels like a lot up front. But I know that we've spent more than that on other trips. And we were like, sure, let's go. But like just because it's all in one lump, it feels like, ooh. But honestly, like $2,000 for a vacation for 2 people doesn't even, for a week? That seems really cheap. Yeah. So.
It seems reasonable for sure.
All things considered, like that doesn't seem all that expensive. Especially when like there's all that entertainment, like there's always something to do. I don't know. So I think like we will do it. We just need to like buckle down and like get it done and like book it. We're so bad at booking travel. Like we both love to travel. We both want to travel, but it's like
we know
sitting down and booking
Make sure you
it.
know what port you're going out of and what ship you're going to be on. Yeah, I mean, I'm not booking the airfare. We can help
you. Let us know.
Yeah, like Daniel is going to be booking the airfare. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be in charge of that. He will be either doing it by himself or he'll be sitting next to me watching, because I will mess it up. I will.
There also is a port in New Orleans, which I know I just looked up, and that's still like a 12-hour drive for you from where you're at.
Yeah.
But that could eliminate airfare, but with cost of gas right now, I feel like you should just,
Yeah. Well, okay. One of the cruises, the Key West Freeport Nassau one, that is out of New Orleans.
Yeah.
But the one that goes to like Cozumel and Grand Cayman, that's out of Miami.
Yeah.
So it's either New Orleans, Miami or New Orleans.
Have you been to New Orleans?
I love it. It's so fun.
Me too. Me too. I love it there. But then Miami's amazing as well. So it's like,
I know.
good options all the way around.
I just like love, man, I just loved Miami so much. Like being around Cuban culture was so cool because I spent my whole life being around like Mexican culture in Tucson. And to see like this other side of like my family history was just like so cool. Plus like you felt weird speaking English in Miami. Like it was just like so fun. Like, I don't know. It felt like a foreign country, honestly.
Yeah.
I haven't been there since I was a kid. I just want to go back for the plants, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
And
the
food.
plants were insane.
Yeah.
I would say I think Royal Caribbean has like a good mix of like they have the adults only section and fun times. Virgin I really want to try since it's adults only, and they have like a little box in the rooms that are like a naughty box, like a toy box, an adult toy box.
No way.
Yeah, they provide. I would just suggest, like, if you guys are thinking about this, like, Google the ship name or YouTube the ship name. There are tons of cruise vloggers because obviously we watch a lot of them, but and they all do the same itinerary. So you can just like watch a series of someone who does the itinerary that you want to go on and just like kind of get a vibe, you know?
Yeah, you're right. I'm like freaked out that they like offer a toy box. Like, I'm blushing.
That's hilarious.
What's in it?
I don't think I don't think it's anything major.
Well, like
I can't
cuffs?
remember. There
Some
might
rope?
be cuffs. There might be some sort of ring that goes around some certain area.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm blushing.
Okay, I'm assuming this is in a vlog on YouTube somewhere.
Oh yeah, people. They show the box and stuff like the.
Well, I know what I'm doing after this.
But do not wear pineapples because you will get approached.
Or do wear pineapple.
Or do, yeah, whatever.
Wait.
Everybody has their kinks.
Is it? Everybody has their king. Is it pineapples or flamingos? I thought it was flamingos. There's probably so
No,
many
it's pineapples.
indicators.
Like I don't know why this became like the thing. Because Steve has a pineapple shirt that he's worn on cruises. We haven't been approached. Apparently, we just have resting asshole face. But I don't know when pineapples became the swinger signal.
Okay, I didn't know this. I didn't know about a signal, and I'm really glad I know now because I tend to purchase J clothes when we go on vacation.
Ooh,
and
yeah.
that would be hilarious. Hilarious.
That would be so funny if you got him a pineapple shirt and then someone's like, so...
Should just vlog the whole day, be like, wear this, babe.
Or just make one with a cricket, just like pineapple lifestyle. Boom.
There you go. Have like a cup or like a lanyard or like, I don't know. How do you classily wear a pineapple? Anyway, that's funny.
Earrings.
Yeah, I guess earrings. Daniel thought it was flamingos and my mom is obsessed with flamingos. And he's like, is your mom? I'm like, no, she's not. Daniel, she's not a swinger. Or if they are, I don't know. It's fine if they are,
so
but I don't want to know.
Yeah.
You don't need that visual, huh?
No, I don't need that visual. I heard enough as a child. Like, I don't need more. Thank you.
All right. Sorry for that question. That kind of spiraled. But anyway, I hope you book your cruise soon, and I would just take me along. I'll be there in spirit. We need a vacation so bad.
Yeah. I will definitely vlog it if we do that. I mean, I want to. You guys have reinvigorated my desire to cruise. I'll talk to him about it tonight. But his birthday's next week, so I'm trying to plan like a birthday trip. So like,
Ooh.
you know.
Fun.
Yeah.
We booked a cruise. This will be the start of my catch up. But we booked a cruise a while ago for 2023. We're going through the Panama Canal. Well, we're not transiting the entire canal, but we're going into like the little lake and then going out. But we still get to go through locks, So I'm really excited for that.
That's so cool.
But it was a big price tag because it's a 14-day cruise. So it's like 2 weeks we're going to be on this boat. But we're going to the ABC Islands, which is like Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao. And those are like a wish list islands to hit for me and Steve.
Yeah.
Have you been to Aruba?
No.
Ever?
No.
I've been there a few times. It is amazing.
I'm so excited. But it was this cruise for both of us was $7,000, which is a lot, I will say. But we did get like this certain class of this ship where we have access to this special restaurant just for that class. And also this like, it's not the spa, but it's like kind of a spa where you have those heated loungers that are like stone that you can like lay on and they're heated. And you get like a sauna and all that stuff. You get all these different sauna and salt rooms and all this. And I'm like, I'm so excited for that vacation.
When is that? When in 2023?
March of 2023.
Ooh, that's coming up.
Oh my gosh. I literally cannot wait to see these vlogs. Like, that's going to be so good.
Gosh. I can't wait for it.
And sometimes it's worth the splurge, you know? And like, who's to say that in like another year, maybe Waypoint Explorers could be a write-off, you know?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I did ask our resident genius, Steve, I've killed that, if I could write off cruises if we start making money for Waypoint Explorers. He's like, that's taking it a little too far. And I was like, okay.
Oh, dang.
I was like, dang it.
Is it? I mean, at least your flight's there.
Yeah.
Like, your flights could definitely be. You can give yourself a bonus out of Waypoint to yourself. Like, there's ways around it. I mean, but there's ways around it.
Because like there's when you're a travel vlogger, that's what you have to do for work. So like,
yeah. I mean, your travel is definitely covered by the business to get there.
Most of these travel vloggers that go a lot, like, see, obviously I only have 4 weeks of vacation, which is like, well, it's going to suck because we're not going to have content all the time.
Yeah.
But a lot of these they're travel agents. So they either get invited on these cruises for very, very cheap because the company, since they're a travel agent, they want to like show them the stuff. So that's always a good idea. Like if either of you two are ever like supplemental income, travel agent. Maybe not for you, Becca, because that could be a little hard with the booking things. Just kidding.
You're right. You are right.
She can laugh about it.
Imagine calling a bride like 3 days before her wedding and being like, so, I booked you the wrong location. I would freak out. I was not a bridezilla, but I would be in that moment if my travel agent was like, I booked you to going to the wrong city.
Whoopsie dipsies.
It would have been flower crowns times 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Anywho, that aside, my week's been pretty good. It's random, but I've had like a lot of people from my past come into town, which is such a weird time to come to Arizona. July? Like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If there's a time to not come here, it's now.
It's now. July.
Mm-hmm. But one was my friend Val, who is the only person, well, one of the very few people that I talked to from high school and best friend. And that was really fun. I went up to Sedona this weekend and hung out with them and did some hikes. I literally thought I was going to die. Like, because a good chunk of the crew was in shape and they were like way ahead of us. And I was just like huffing and puffing. Oof.
Oh, I would have died. That looked like it was a pretty intense hike too.
It was kind of intense, but it was so worth it. It was so gorgeous. It was the Cathedral Trail. And Val's family has a lot of siblings. I think there's like 7 or 8 of them. I can't remember how many. So one of her sisters is 1 year younger than me, or 2 years younger than me. But anyway, they're just like all close in age. But one of her sisters lives here, Kristen, and I just feel a kinship with her. And she might listen to this podcast. So if you do, hi, Kristen. She likes plants.
Hi, Kristen.
Hi.
But she's kind of like me in that we both just wanted to get out of that town. But then the others that were there kind of, you know, they love Genoa, and that's fine. You can love it. We can disagree on that. Anyway. But it's kind of hard to like, sometimes it's hard. It's fun to reminisce, but then sometimes I'm like, that was a really traumatic period of my life. So, like,
yeah.
Yeah. But it was good. And then Tuesday, I had a friend who knew me during my marriage, like that. There was like a mutual friend, you know, come into town. And I was really nervous and anxious about that because I love these people, but I did not leave on a good note because of just my mind space in that time. Like I didn't even have a conversation with them. And I would consider them like the top of my list of people I love and care about, you know? And I just kind of ghosted. And I think back and I cringe about that often. you know, as we forge do, like something will trigger in my mind and I'll just like go right back to that and then just like have like this oppressive anxiety out. And so I was able to look them both in the face and apologize for my actions, and that felt really good. And yeah, it was just really good. And the reason they're here is because they possibly might move out here, and their parents were like, fine, if you're going to move out there, then you go in July and you see how you like it. But like, joke's on them, because this is like the coldest week in Arizona. It's like not even hitting 100.
Amazing.
Nice.
So yeah,
So are they still there?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're going to hang out.
With you guys or no?
No. I think they're going to hang out in Sedona and then Flagstaff. But I was like, it's just so nice being here. Like, you can drive 3 hours and be in the mountains. You can come play disc golf in the afternoon in the winter. You can drive to California. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love it.
I always said that, like, I visited when my mom and stepdad lived out there. I visited a couple times in the winter. And I remember one time it was like right before Christmas. And that was like the best time. Like, it was kind of off because I've only known Chicago at Christmas time. But like, to be somewhere else where there's like Christmas decorations and it's like 70s, 60s was amazing. It was weird, but it was like, I can actually enjoy this, you know?
Yeah. It's good. So yeah, I mean, that was basically my week. It was just like kind of a blast from the past, but it was all good stuff, you know? And it's always good to just like, I don't know, get something off your chest or something. Like, I don't know how to say that, but like to be able to like express your apology to face and then just be forgiven and not have that like stress you out the rest of your days.
Yeah, like a weight lifted.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, because from the moment he texted me to like hang out, I kind of have just been mentally a wreck, because I just like, I don't know. I can't explain it, but like my brain just like takes me into some wild places, and it's just not good places. And I would say 90% of the time it's my brain's wrong, but you know, I think it's my defense mechanism of prepare for the worst.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think a lot of us go through that. That's pretty normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also been like fully obsessed with Big Brother. I used to watch it when it first aired, like back in the day, like 2004, 2003, but then I didn't watch it for the longest time, and I started this new season, and I'm like, catch myself watching the live feeds some nights, and I was like, what a weird thing that we can do. Like, these people are living their life.
I don't even know this show. Is it a show?
Yeah. I honestly could
about?
never do it. I would be a wreck, because you really have to like be conniving and like friends with all these different groups to try to like make sure you don't get kicked out. And honestly, I just can't lie that well. I cannot do it.
Yeah.
But
and like,
it's fun
what
to
does that
watch.
say about you if you can? It's like,
Yeah.
It's kind of scary.
But yeah, basically, Nicole, they put like 16 people in a house, and for like 6 weeks or something. But basically, I think the house is like, looks like a house, but it's on a soundstage, and there's lights on 24/7, and you always are recorded. No. There's like 97 cameras around this house.
Like sleeping and everything?
Yeah, but like the lights don't go off, so like they have to sleep with the lights fully on and all this stuff. And they do competitions, and yeah. I feel like mentally it would screw me up big time, but I love watching it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a contestant on, I think, 50, season 50. There's no way there's been that many. I don't remember which one it was. But she was married. She was from Tucson. She was married to this guy. And in the house, she like flirted with this other guy to like get further into the game. And like she would say in like the confessional, like, yeah, I know I'm flirting and I'm probably pushing boundaries, but like I want to win. And I think they like made out, or maybe they slept together. I don't remember. Her name was Christine. Anyway, she and her husband eventually got a divorce, and her husband ended up marrying somebody that I went to high school with. And it was just like a whole thing. I mean, they were all from Tucson. Whoa. So it was just like weird. Like, I follow his wife on Instagram. Like,
Wow.
I see Christine's ex-husband on Instagram, and Christine, like, I don't know if she's married or what, but anyway, that was a whole drama.
Wow.
It sounds like Real World meets Temptation Island in a house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because the Real World was
it's kind of like Real
reality
World
TV.
and Survivor at the same time, I feel like. 'Cause,
Okay.
I mean, I love Survivor, but I couldn't play that game. I could do the race one. Why can't I think of the name of that?
Amazing Race?
The Amazing Race. I think I could do that one because that's basically like whatever. Survivor is a lot of like gameplay of like alliances and immunity and all this stuff. And so is Big Brother, which is just very stressful to me. But yeah.
Yeah.
I can't watch stuff like that. Like things that like are
Because
fast
no one's getting
and like
killed. Is that why?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say, you know, but I could sit here and watch a serial killer. Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's hear your week.
Well, I think the remainder of my week is going to be checking out what Big Brother's about, if I'm being honest, because it sounds interesting.
I think you would like it, Nicole.
It
I
is
think you'd
fun.
like it.
I probably would.
It's on
bet
three
it sounds
times.
fun.
It's on 3 times a week though.
Oh, that's intense.
Sundays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Yeah.
It's
Well, I
like
don't know if I
Love
could commit to
Island.
that.
Love Island's on like 5 nights a week or something.
Is it streaming or is this like
Paramount Plus. You got a Peppa Pig. You got a profile.
I
on
got
her.
it. Peppa Pig. All right. Okay, so my week. Let's think about it for a second. Honestly, not a whole lot. If I'm being I should let you guys know now that I can't record next Thursday because we'll be in Wisconsin. So there's that.
What part of Wisconsin?
We're going to Lake Geneva.
Fun.
Yeah, we finally booked a trip a few days ago, actually. So I guess that's the highlight of my week. We're going for only 2 days, 3 days, 2 nights. We rented a house and we're going with my mom and Ted and the dogs, which is fun. Yeah, so we're going to be there for like half the week. And
sorry.
I'm flossing right now, everybody. I'm sorry. I started and now I have to finish it. I felt weird this whole time that only like 3 of my teeth were flossed. I'm trying to hide it.
I mean, it doesn't bother me, honestly. I told you that before. But so we're going to rent a boat and there's like a little dog beach, some really good restaurants. Lake Geneva is great. Like there's just a lot to do over there. And we went last year. We stayed at like a resort out there for a few days. And we told my mom and Ted about it. And they wanted to go to like Aruba this year for a vacation. But because like airfare is just so expensive right now, they waited kind of last minute to book. They're like, you know what, we're just going to wait till next year. So they decided to come with us. So I'm excited.
That's fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be like our first trip with them, which is fun. I wish it was for longer, but the house that we wanted to rent didn't have any more available days. And we really wanted to find a place that accepted the dogs because when you have 2 pit bulls, the amount of discrimination against these dogs is just, it's awful. Like, it's so hard finding a place that accepts big breed dogs, like even German Shepherds or like Huskies. I feel like pit bulls have the worst rep, but anyway, this place looks really cute. So we were happy to find it. So we're like, well, school starts in like 2 weeks already. I cannot believe it's back to school.
Yeah.
That was another highlight of my week. School supply shopping. The most wonderful time of the year.
Oh my god.
I love school supply shopping.
Me too. I
course
wonder
you
if my
did.
mom hated it, but I loved setting up my notebooks and getting all my pens and pencils on the spots and my new 5-star vibe that year. Ugh.
Yeah,
Absolutely. My Lisa
Trapper
Frank.
Keepers.
Yes.
So Mia got a whole bunch of stuff and she's very much like that. I was like that too as a kid. As a parent, it's a little bit different. Oops. Sorry, I got a call. But yeah, so that's pretty much the gist of my week. I don't have a whole lot, but that's okay because You know, we're already 40 minutes in. Hold on one second, guys. I'm sorry.
I'm just thankful for the real ones who really just love to come here to talk.
Yeah.
And some plant stuff.
The people who are like, as little plant talk as possible. We can have the plant talk, but keep it to a minimum.
Keep it to a minimum.
Yes.
Someone left a review that was like 10% plant talk, 90% chit chat. My title says it all. And then
Sorry, go ahead.
Someone DM'd us and was like, you know, it's more like 36 or 30-70, but whatever. I'm here for it. I'm here for the chit chat.
I mean, we do always try like around the 30-minute mark to start talking about plants. And like, I feel like we do a good job of that. I mean, today is obviously not a good example. We're at 40 minutes and we're just not talking about plants yet. But like, I feel like we do a good job typically of getting the subject started at least 20 to 30 minutes in. And like,
we do.
You can skip to the 30-minute mark.
There's a skip button for a reason, you know? But also, like, today's topic isn't that intricate. Like, it's not going to be a super ton of information. We each have our own experiences in the workplace, in different workplaces, and then also working from home. And after you listen to today's episode, we would love to hear how you incorporate plants in your workspace. So be sure to leave a comment on our Instagram page at Potted Together. Okay.
Wow.
Let's go.
Getting the housekeeping right off the bat. I love that.
Right off the bat. Got to plug it. Okay. So, Adam, you used to work in an office space. Like, you had an actual cubicle, right?
I do. Yeah, I did. Mm-hmm. With a nice big window. It was amazing.
You had a great window.
You know, that was kind of like the semi-start of my plant journey. That was in my like acquire everything, over-consume stage of plants. Like go to a big box store over my lunch break, and if there's anything I had never seen before, I bought it kind of situation. But I wasn't mad about it because like there are scientific studies and so many studies out there that show like if you bring plants into a sterile work environment, that it's proven to make people more productive. And I get it. Like, I'm not saying that I was like, oh yeah, now I'm some super productive human. But it was really nice to sit there and like have these plants surrounding me in my little area. And bringing nature inside, especially in the winter in the Midwest when like seasonal affective disorder was bad for me. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, I felt like they were all easy to care for. And, you know, even when we're all working, we're not just like glued to something for the hours and hours. You get up, you take a walk, you can take a plant to the sink and water it. Like, I loved it. And I was lucky enough to have a window, but there are so many different types of plants that will do just fine under fluorescent lighting. Because some of mine were, 5 feet from a north window, which north in Illinois was not very bright, I'm
envisioning, because I remember you posted either a couple stories or maybe posts on your Instagram, which might not be there anymore, I don't know, of your space. But did you have a pegboard?
No, I actually did have a video on my channel of like a office plant tour.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I thought you had a pegboard, and I'm like envisioning like a pothos crawling along it. Maybe it's somebody else. I'm really sorry.
I had a couple like over the door hangers, like over the door like storage, like you could get at like Home Goods or something that go over the door and have like a little basket, and then I put plants in that on my cubicle wall.
Okay.
And some door hooks, like, But there's tons of stuff out there for cubicles, like tons of products specifically for cubicles, like giving you shelves and stuff that you can just kind of attach over the thing and then just, have plants.
And given the amount of like how much plants have come up since COVID, I'm sure that there's so many different plant products, pots, like stuff for the workplace in general now.
I will say, though, I think a lot of like bigger corporations forbid people from bringing in plants and stuff, which is sad.
That's really sad. Oh, let us know if you work for a company like that, if you want to share that information, because I'm curious.
I mean, I did have fungus gnats, and people at work were like, "What are these?" Because they fly around your face. My office mate Beth at the time, she was just like, "There's a lot of flies in here," and I was like, "I'm sorry."
Oh,
You need like a net over the top of only yours, so you're the only one dealing with them.
Yeah.
I would.
But sorry.
I follow
go ahead.
somebody who has plants in her office, and it's Houseplant, Pamela, Haus plant.
Okay. Yeah.
She said that they send passive aggressive emails about like only like limited to like 1 or 2 plants per desk or whatever, and she's like sitting there with like 5, and she's like, okay, like come take them.
I dare you. But
well,
I started
go
putting
ahead.
places in other spots in the work that weren't my office, and people loved it. I don't know if they're still there. I don't know if they're still happy. But when I was there and I was taking care of them, like I would walk in the door and people were like, the Monstera has a new leaf, like, and they're just like all this excitement about it. So I think it brought joy to other people too.
Mm-hmm. Before we got on the podcast, I kind of did a little research, and there's an article here from Work Design magazine, and this study was a Norwegian study that was done in the mid 90s, but it like showed statistically that plants really helped people in office scenarios, like in general. It says neuropsychological symptoms were reduced by 23% when plants were present, like fatigue by 30%, even like if you had a cold, like coughs decreased by 37%, dry throat by 25%. And then dry or flushed skin was reduced by 23%, which just leads me to believe that I'm just going to pile pothos all around me, and maybe my rosacea will go away.
Maybe.
Who's to say?
Know.
Who's to say? But I thought that was interesting, like, because I don't know, like there's this stigma, I guess is the word I'm looking for, behind office jobs, that they're just so robotic and it's plain white walls, cubicle. Like most people don't like their work environment in office scenarios. I wouldn't say most, but a lot. And brightening it up with plants, I feel like, is just the simplest thing you can do,
Yeah.
What are some plants that, like, let's say there's no windows, what are some that'll do good under fluorescence only?
I feel like some easily accessible plants that would do good. Snake plant, Dracaena sansevieria, do decent. I mean, I think they do decent because they take a long, long time to die. So maybe they're not doing well, but you don't really know it because they really hang on there. But aglionemas, I had an agglionema that just like thrived under fluorescent light.
Yeah, those do really well.
Peace lilies, I think, is also something you usually consistently see as like an office plant. What's another one? It's Dieffenbachia. I feel like those can sometimes be decent under fluorescent lights, but that one might be a little tricky.
Well, what about pothos? Did you say pothos?
Pothos, obvious. Yeah, sorry. No, I didn't. Pothos
Spider
do well.
plants.
Spider plants, Brazil, like a philodendron, heteroecium. Those do well. Like the green heart-leafed philodendrons.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, there is quite a few plants that will just do fine under fluorescent lighting.
Bamboo, like water bamboo.
Yeah.
I feel ill too.
Yeah. Also, if you like want to avoid the gnats thing, like with the mention of water, you could just grow cuttings in water around your desk.
Yeah.
You know, like you would not get gnats, and all you have to do is switch out the water. And I find that when a plant is growing in water, it needs less like light. I don't know if that's like a true thing, but I've put plants in a cup of water in like a really dark area, and it did totally fine.
Really?
I don't know why, but yeah.
Yeah. And then you can always add like a little nutrients to your water too, you know? That's actually a great idea for the fungus gnat issue.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to do like full leca. You could just put nutrients in your water and make sure you're changing out your water so it stays oxygenated. But at the end of the day, I mean, that seems like a really easy thing.
And pothos are great in water. I mean, they're not going to... Well, I take that back because I was gifted cuttings that were grown solely in water. And I actually think that she had them in her workplace. She just had a bunch of cuttings in a big vase. And she would change out the water like once a week. And this thing was huge. Like, this plant was gigantic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great for the office. I think that's why we see a lot in office spaces of pothos cuttings.
Yep.
Yeah. For sure.
What about you, Becca? You were a teacher.
Yeah. So
how did you incorporate them in the classroom?
Having plants in my classroom was like the greatest thing that I did. I don't think that I did it initially. I think I did it maybe around like September or October. I don't really remember. But yeah, maybe I did do it initially. Either way, the kids loved them. Like, it was this fun little thing that they could like check on every time they came in, because I didn't have the same kids. Like, I didn't have them all day. I just had them for like 2 hours a day. And so, you know, some kids like really took an interest and others didn't care, but it was always a conversation piece. And like, since I taught ELA, I was able to like incorporate like writing prompts with the plants. Like, one time I had them do like a POV from the plants, like pretend like you are writing as if you are this plant in this classroom, and like, what are you seeing all day? Like, what are you smelling? What are you hearing? Like, and it was just like so much fun because you get to like personify something in the classroom. Like, it's like having a class pet, but like not, like way easier.
Yeah. Way easier.
So
way easier.
I had 4 or 5 really big north windows in that classroom. And that, man, every time I think about that classroom, like, I get so sad because it was such a great classroom. It was huge. It had these, basically a full wall of windows. And out the window was this huge mountain view. But anyway, so I had snake plants, I had spider plants, I had aglaonema, and I had dracaena. Did I say spider plant? I also had a spider plant. The kids liked the spider plant the most because it would put off babies. And so they could see like changes happening with the plant. The other ones more or less stayed looking exactly the same. So I would say if you want to incorporate plants into your classroom, bring in varieties that are going to grow really fast and like show a difference. Like, even if that means like growing herbs in your classroom under a grow light, or like growing things from seed in your classroom. Like, I think just the idea of something growing and changing every single day is really great for that type of an environment, because kids are going to be drawn to them, especially when they see changes, because they want updates. So anything fast growing is great, like pothos, spider plants, like vining, anything that vines, herbs. Great. I don't know. I already said that, but like herbs would be a really good one under a grow light. So yeah, that was pretty much the experience. And like, you have to be mindful of how you're going to water them and like what that looks like. I know that some classrooms like, or some schools like have more accessible bathrooms or whatever else. Like there was my classroom was right across from the bathroom, and the janitor would just like I would just ask her to leave the closet open in there, and there was like a shower without a shower head, like a drain. And so she would just let me water my plants in there, and then I would leave them in there for a few minutes when they were done getting watered, and then I would put them back. But even then, when it was very inconvenient, I still took them somewhere else to water, because I am fervently a disbeliever in watering in place. But if you're a teacher and you want to bring plants into your classroom, I would suggest getting something like the Plantapotty. That's a product that did we all get a Plantapotty?
We did. I have yet to put mine together because I don't have a bucket yet.
Me too. I need to go get a bucket. But I love it's so cool. I love it.
Yeah.
That's all right.
The Plantapotty is fun.
Okay, so I've used mine like so many times, and if I was a a teacher still, I would have one in my classroom at all times because you just like, it's on a 5-gallon bucket. It's like a 3D printed frame. And then there's like metal little things that you put into the frame. And I think they've also started printing one where you don't have to put the little metal things in it. So it's just like a cap that you put on top of the 5-gallon bucket. And it's amazing. Like, it's such a nice tool because you can water your plants like basically in place. You're just slightly moving them off the shelf and onto this bucket. And yeah, I mean, I highly suggest that one because you don't have to find a bathroom. And also, like, the sinks in a bathroom are like not like your sink in the kitchen. Like, sometimes I would bring the plants downstairs to like the teacher's lounge and water, but that sucked because they were so heavy and I had to go like, we didn't have an elevator. It's old school. I had to go up a flight of stairs. Like, you know the drill. So just find ways to make caring for them easy. And I was about to say, like, assign a class job to take care of the plants, but at the same time, I want to say don't do that because
Oh, I was just gonna say that.
Okay, I would say sure, but plants don't necessarily need care every single week. So like, you would just have to make it clear that like, you're not going to be watering every single time, but like, you know, you might have to just remove some yellow leaves or maybe turn the plant. Like, you just have to make it very obvious that like, hey, you can't just like put water on this every single week. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like but finding a way to like incorporate the plants like with the kids and like have them like be actively doing something. Like, I had one kid who like took an interest in my spider plant and he was really the only one that cared. And so one day I had him like snip off one of the babies and put it in water. And I think I sent it home with him at the end of the year. I don't really remember. But yeah, I just like found little ways to let them like take care of them without putting the plant's life in jeopardy because kids, like, they don't know. Most adults don't even know. So
yeah, your plants are pretty big. Like, I would feel the same way. I have control issues, but I would probably just like give them like a little tiny glass and be like, well, that's kind of lying to them because then they'll think that they could do that to their plants at home. But I was like, just give it some water, and then like I'd be watering it behind their back like that night.
Just give it an ice cube.
But
an ice cube.
I think I mean, we've talked about this before in the podcast, but propagation is when I learned about that, and I didn't learn about that till I was an adult. Like, I don't even remember really having that many plant like science classes. I do remember we like grew a green bean from a bean, and I thought that was cool. But
I think we did that too.
When I was an adult and like I learned about propagation, I was like, that just blew my mind. And I just love that like you were showing kids that, and also that teachers, you know, in the classroom could show kids that. And even like, you know, it's kind of like a cute little memento. Like, you could take a bunch of especially a pothos, and then like at the end of the year, you could just be like, okay, well, everyone, like, here's your piece of this plant. Like, or you could pot it up together in like little tiny pots, and they could take it home, you know?
Cute.
Oh.
But that would be another really good way to maybe minimize having to water your plants if you just took cuttings from your collection and kept them in water in the classroom. And then, you can just give them away at the end of the year. And they could watch the roots grow. I think that that's a nice visual learning experience too.
Yeah. Yeah, kids want to see like the active parts of growing plants. They don't really care about the like tiny subtle things. Like, they just don't notice them.
Yeah.
And there was plenty of kids that didn't even notice that I had plants. Or if there was a day where I like took them home, like I'd bring them home for Christmas break. So that's also another thing to think about. Like, you can't leave them there for 2 weeks because the lights aren't on, the air is probably off. So like, spring break as well. I think I left mine during spring break because it was only a week and it wasn't cold. But like, when I didn't bring the plants back immediately, like, kids did notice. They're like, oh, where are they? Even though they had never mentioned it before. But kids are just weird. Like, they're just like, oh, well, I noticed that you didn't bring them back. Like, why not? We liked them. Like, you never said anything about it. How would I know you liked them? They're like, well, we did. So when are they coming back? I'm like, okay,
and
you
you're
guys
supposed to know that.
Yeah, like, they're such tweens. So those are my thoughts on all of that. And incorporating grow lights if you don't have windows, because I know that there's some classrooms without windows, but like, grow lights are great and you can have them on all day while you're there. And then
Also, there's some like really great options for grow lights now, like small little under the cabinet lights that you can literally just like stick underneath like your shelf, or if your cubicle has like, and I'm thinking about office, but if it has like one of those like kind of shelves at the top, you can just slap the grow light under that and have a plant there on your desk. And boom.
Yeah, I think I talked about this on the podcast last week, but I recently was gifted a planter that has like a clock, a calendar, a Bluetooth speaker, a grow light, and it's like it's a planter. It's a pot. So cool. So those are some really good options. The one thing I remember about you being a teacher, Becca, which is I think when I started following you was like towards the end of the school year, I think you were getting ready to pack up your classroom and maybe you put a plant on a ladder, or you were like climbing up to get a plant and it crashed or like everything fell to the ground.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, yeah. I'm not making that up. Okay, good.
No, I had a rolling bookshelf, and it was two bookshelves. Yeah, there's two bookshelves stacked on top of each other. And I thought that it was screwed together, because why wouldn't it be? It's a classroom with children in it. I should have checked, because if a kid pulled that down onto themselves, I don't even want to know what would happen. Like, it was really bad. So yeah, I had 3 plants sitting on top of it, and I was like moving it to take a photo for Instagram.
Of course.
And yeah, I just like pushed it a little too hard and it started wobbling, and I was like, what? And then it came crashing down. The loudest sound I think I have ever heard. And my classroom was right above the principal. And her office was right below my classroom. And guess who did not come to check? The freaking principal. Her. Yeah, and I know she was down there. She was the worst. Anyway, the kids in the class next to me like ran in. They're like, "Miss, are you okay?" Like, it was a whole thing. Aww. And they actually cleaned it up for me, which was really nice. They were like, "Do you want us to clean this up?" And I'm like, okay. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, not even my students. They were probably just trying to get out of doing work, but I was like, sure.
Trying to get out of algebra or something, right?
Yeah, probably. It was their Spanish class. I'm like, what are you avoiding? But yeah.
Yeah, that's what I remember. Oh,
that was so bad.
Good times.
Yeah.
So my experience with plants in the workplace, I didn't start collecting houseplants until I had already started working from home. So a lot of my personal plant collection has just been in my general workspace. But I will speak on working from home and like incorporating plants into that area wherever your office or your desk might be. Because I film the podcast, we record the podcast, and I'm in my daughter's room. And there's literally just like an air plant hanging from the window and nothing else, because she just chooses not to have plants in her room. And downstairs where my desk is in the basement, I can't really have a lot of plants because I don't have much light down there. So I'm really trying to incorporate more of these like smaller grow lights in areas around my desk. But I feel like you can do a lot more when you work from home, obviously, because you have more creative freedom, and fungus gnats aren't that big of an issue if you're the only one dealing with it, or you and your partner. I don't know, maybe that's an issue. Sorry if I touched on a hot topic, but sometimes it can be a little difficult too. Like if you're in a space where you don't get a lot of natural light, and you have to incorporate that. But one place I did decorate with plants was my husband's studio. So my husband, Jay's a photographer too, and he has a studio in the city. And he has gigantic windows, and they're east facing. But his studio is in the middle of an alley. Like, his windows face an alley. So they literally face another building. Like, it's the city. He's not getting any real light in those windows. But he gets enough to be able to keep like some plants there. So I like I remember when he was starting to set up his studio, he's like, I really want plants. Like I want to incorporate plants in my photo shoots. And he has like this bedroom set up. And I was like, okay. So I like went through my whole plant collection and I was like, which ones are we going to grab? And of course I ended up like grabbing the pothos and joy and like a snake, all the snake plants I have. I was like, just take them all, you know. I think like there was like a Madagascar palm at one point. He has alocasia, regal shield, which is a very easy alocasia. It's not like the rest of our babes. But anyway, so like, you know, setting up that space was kind of cool because it was like, well, it's somebody else's space. So it's kind of different, but also like he's incorporating them in photo shoots, which I think is really cool, especially if you're doing like a lifestyle shoot. I'm seeing more and more plants in lifestyle photo shoots or like people incorporating them in like commercial ads and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
So that's really fun. But I don't know. I need some more grow lights for my desk downstairs, you guys. I need to like just bite the bullet and buy some. I'm thinking of Soltech Solutions, actually. Hashtag not sponsored. Yeah.
Okay. Like what? Like the track light, or what are you thinking? Hanging in the corners?
Maybe because I have like a wall next to my desk where I can do something like that, or maybe just like the ones that are on the cord where you can like hang a hook from the ceiling and just have it drop down to your plant. Yeah. Like I like those. I was thinking like a couple of those would be cool.
Yeah. I like that idea.
Cool. Yeah, you should go with that.
I know. I should. Do you guys have any or no?
No, but you've just inspired me because I have that huge Monstera deliciosa and like I need like a huge plant for like a corner in my room. Like I think it would look really nice, like next to the big mirror.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't want to put a plant there because there's not enough light. Dark. But if I get a Soltech light, it looks nice.
Those are cute. They're so like aesthetically pleasing.
They really are.
Yeah. The pendants are so nice.
They sent me a pendant and I haven't used it yet. And I want to use it for my Thai constellation because like your Monstera, Becca, it's like huge. The Thai constellation's huge. It's not fitting in the spot that it used to. But I really am afraid that all the leaves are going to bend and point up towards the light. So then
naturally.
Yeah. And I don't know how I feel about those ties that like kind of turn into like a lily pad, you know, because they're kind of like
right.
But you know, it's still beautiful.
Yeah.
I still think I might try it.
It's the
I have a
Aspect grow light. Is that the one they sent you?
Yeah, the Aspect pendant.
Ooh, nice. See, I have a really big euphorbia in my basement. Don't ask me how it's still alive. It's quite literally in a dark corner next to my desk. And I haven't given it any water in probably a month and a half. So that's probably what it's hanging on to. But I think something like that, like the pendant light would be good for a plant like that naturally grows upward, you know? Or any cactus, really. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking at it right now and it's like $150 to $200.
Yeah, they're not that easy on the pockets, but they're so cool. I've seen a lot of people have them.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is you're paying for a grow light that looks nice as a part of your home decor. It's the same with the mother grow lights. Like they're definitely pricey, but they're so nice. Like they're beautiful. So like I don't really care if it's showing and it's out and about.
Right.
Like it's really pretty, so it's fine.
And
well, you're right. Sorry. No, I was just gonna say you're right. Like you're pretty much buying a piece of decor at that point.
Yeah.
That's serves a purpose.
And there's so many, because these lights are so popular because they're aesthetically pleasing. There's so many like different people who've created products. So if you don't want to hang it from the ceiling, like I feel like I've seen like a wood stand that the cord kind of like clips into the top. So it's almost like a lamp that you would have in your living room. But so you don't have to like attach it to a ceiling if you're a renter or what have you. And then you can still have the grow light in a corner, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
And also grow bulbs. or just like certain light bulbs at a certain wattage or whatever it is, you just put them in a lamp you already have. Right? Like, that's easy.
Cool. Well, do we have anything else we want to add?
No, just that if you're allowed, well, maybe, but I want to say if you're allowed to really like take a plant or two to your workspace, it'll just make your life much more better, and you won't. But again, if you're allowed, because some places don't allow it.
Yeah. And also, if you have any say in like the general, I don't know, if I worked at a place, I would be like, hey, we should add plants into this office. And I would feel comfortable doing that because I'm just that type of person. But, you know, if you work somewhere where there's not a single plant, like in common spaces, like in the kitchen or, you know, wherever in the hallways, and there's windows and like definitely availability to do it, maybe ask like, hey, I know of this service where they will come and take care of our plants every week, and we should hire them and get some plants because of these reasons. Like, I don't know. If your company is one that like is open to suggestions like that, I think it's a great idea. It's well worth the money, honestly. It's probably not even that expensive to have somebody come in and take care of the plants every week.
And I mean, after finding that study from the mid-90s, I'm sure a deeper Google search will find more recent studies of, you know, how plants brighten the workspace, both, you know, mentally and aesthetically, you know, so.
Yeah. And if
I think it's a benefit for a company to do that.
It definitely is. And if all else fails, fake plants are a thing. So.
Yeah, Joanna Gaines she really has a good fake plants. I feel like they're getting more and more realistic.
Yeah. You can even make your own fake plant. I mean, there's lots of Corey Beth makes on Instagram. She has a book with a bunch of tutorials. I bought it and it's amazing. And the plants look very realistic if you're willing to put in the time.
Is that what your ad and Sunny Eye came from?
Yeah. And I'm going to make another one because I need like a couple plants like in the kitchen, but there's not enough plant like light for where I want to put it. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be making some more fake plants in the coming months.
Yeah,
Nice.
I have quite a few fake plants downstairs. There's some that you can buy, you know, you could find fake plants thrifting. You can find fake plants at like a place like Home Goods for really cheap. But then there's places like Target that want to charge $30, $100 for a fake tree.
Yeah.
I have a fake olive tree in my basement and I made Jay buy it for me because I couldn't spend the money on it, but I really loved it. But some fake plants look really bad too. So you just gotta look for the good ones.
You kind of have to like splurge a little to get the good ones. And it kind of sucks, but it'll never die. You will have it forever.
Right.
So
Right.
I don't know.
No, we just went down the fake plant route. Cool. Okay, guys.
I can hear the reviews now. These aren't real plant people. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Unsubscribe, unfollow. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for joining us in today's episode. We really appreciate you guys being here. If you haven't already, be sure to leave us a review if you're able to leave us a review on whatever podcast player you use. I know Apple lets you leave reviews, right? Apple Podcasts. Yep.
And Spotify.
It really helps us get into the right people's ears week after week after week. And if you're not already following us, be sure to follow us at Potted Together, like I said before, over on Instagram. And then we're all on Instagram separately. Adam is at Not Dude, Becca is at De La Plants, and I'm at My Clean Leaves. And we also have a YouTube channel. So if you want some fun, planty YouTube content in your life, we got some stuff going on over there. Potted Together.
Yes.
Podcast.
Woohoo!
What's our YouTube name?
Potted Together Podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, that's us over on YouTube. Yep. And then since this is our 5th episode already in season 5, wow, we are on top of our shit.
I know. What the heck? 5 weeks ahead.
I know. Look at us. Who's she? You can click on the link in the notes below to our website, and we have some merch, you guys. So if you want to buy some merch, just a quick little selfless merch plug there. We just launched last week, and we're going to be launching to the public on Monday. So it's exciting. So it's in my head. That's what's in my head right now. But
super exciting. Which also we need to record a Patreon episode.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
do.
that after we X.
Oh, sorry. We're also on Patreon once a month. We've got some bonus content. It's all catch up, all chatting, and we get deep. You know, sometimes we get real deep, sometimes we get real funny. So it's fun.
Yeah. Yes.
We're
If
always
you like
funny,
the chit chat,
Yeah.
you'll like it over there. Yeah, we are. All right, guys. Well, thanks again, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.